Ladies and gentlemen, we're going to discuss Justice League once again. But this is a spoiler point. This is a spoiler point, so please leave. If you do not want to be spoiled, leave now. This is a spoiler. Do not stay. If you do not want this movie to be spoiled for you, please leave. Again, please leave if you do not want this movie spoiled for you. Okay? Spoiler warning one more time. If you do not want this movie spoiled for you, please go now. In 5, 4, 3, 2, 1. Okay, we're getting into it. So, what I want to spoil is actually one of the two post-credit scenes, the last one. I thought the last one is very, very interesting, and I thought that there's a number of people who are talking about it right now. But I really like that last post-credit scene because it opens the door for a lot of possibilities. So, as you know, the last post-credit scene, Deathstroke meets up with Lex Luthor on his yacht. Lex Luthor has escaped Arkham Asylum, and he's on a yacht out there. He knows Superman has come back from the dead, and he knows the Justice League is formed, and so they want to form. He's telling Deathstroke, I'm cutting to the chase. We need to form a league of our own. It will be a league of supervillains. So Deathstroke is involved in that. Where does this come from, and what will this league be called? So where does this come from? Well, it started off with Super Friends, way back in the 70s, where Lex Luthor again proposed forming a league when the Super Friends were formed. So it's actually coming from there. That's why I said there's a big shout out to way back in the comics and in animated series. And these supervillains that formed a league, they called it the Legion of Doom. And there was Solomon Grundy, which you can see on the right here. There was the Scarecrow, who is Solomon Grundy and the Scarecrow are Batman villains. You had Toyark. You had Black Manta, who was an Aquaman villain. You had the Riddler, who was a Batman villain. Sinestro, who was a Green Lantern villain. Cheetah, who's a villain of Wonder Woman. Gorilla Grodd, who's a Batman villain. Bizarro Superman, who's a Superman villain. Giganta, who is a Wonder Woman villain. Captain Cole, who's a Flash villain. And you saw hints of Captain Cole in the behind the scene footage of Flash's lair, where you saw cold fusion, something to do with cold resistance that was necessary. Brainiac, who's a Superman villain, and Lex Luthor, who's a Superman villain. So the Legion of Doom, and the Legion of Doom went on to be seen in an Alex Ross painting. Here's the Legion of Doom, and you see some of the similar characters. Solomon Grundy, we have Poison Ivy added to the list here. We have Sinestro, Captain Cole, Black Manta, Bizarro Superman, Cheetah. We have here, I forgot what his name is, he's a mad scientist, Brainiac here. There's Black Adam, who's added to the list. You have Scarecrow, the Riddler. Lex Luthor, of course, is there, Gorilla Grodd. I'm not too sure who this is. You guys tell me who this is. And tell me who this is as well. And this guy in the background here, I'm not too sure if who he is as well. And there you have Eggman in the background. This looks like Swamp Thing, maybe not. So there's your list of villains. Isn't that fantastic? And this was the Legion of Doom. You also had the Legion of Doom in the DCAU series. There were a little bit of different characters here. We still had Sinestro, we had Cheetah, we had Bizarro, we had Giganta. I guess this could be Captain Cole, another version of him. But we had some new characters here, like this guy here. This is, she was part of the Suicide Squad in the animated series. This is Enchantress. Not quite sure who this is as well. And then you had this guy here who I don't know who he is. So you guys, let me know who these people are, and this guy in the background here as well. Let me know who these guys are. All right, Bizarro Superman. Now, strangely, we have the same characters, but we have a different name for them, which is called the Injustice League. This was formed as well. Some of the similar characters like Giganta here, but we have Black Adam added to the list. He was also in the Legion of Doom. This is the same person as this. This is Frost. Something Frost. I forgot what Frost. And this is her here. Here's Sinestro here. Here we have one of the Furies. This is Granny Goodness, I think. I know who this guy is. I just can't remember his name. He's one of the guy who made the clones for Superman. And we have a couple others. There's Poison Ivy here. You have the Joker added to the list, but you saw the Joker before. I think you saw him here. Where is he? Here he is. Okay, in the Legion of Doom, he was there. So there's the Joker. This is in Justice League. Same Gorilla Grodd. Cheetah down here. We got a couple other characters here. Captain Cole in the background there. There's the same puppet guy. I got this guy here. I don't see Solomon Grundy, but we have a couple other guys here. There's Deathstroke in the background. So Deathstroke was a part of the Injustice League. Okay, and you can see it again here. The Joker, Lex Luthor, Bizarro Superman, Catwoman's added to the list. We have Black Manta, Deathstroke. Somebody give me his name. This is the guy from Batman that can regenerate himself. He's in it. We got some Red Lanterns. We got Doomsday. Not Doomsday, sorry. Darkseid is a part of it. The Injustice League. Gorilla Grodd. We got Black Adam up here. Brainiac. We got Killer Croc. Scarecrow. Cheetah. I don't know who this guy is. You guys tell me who that is. And of course, Black Frost. Right? I didn't see Mr. Freeze. But this is the Injustice League. So the Legion of Doom and the Injustice League are basically the same set of people. So whether they want to call them the Legion of Doom, which is still a league, Legion, or the Injustice League, doesn't really matter. At the end of the day, that is what it is really actually giving to. Oh, there's Bane as well. I forgot Bane. All right, so at least a very exciting thing because it can set up this Injustice League or Legion of Doom facing off against the Justice League. And remember, we have the Suicide Squad still hanging around in this universe. So it leads to some very interesting things. But if Sinestro comes up on the scene, it means that we have Green Lanterns there as well. So there's a lot of possibilities for the future for the DCEU. Of course, the DCEU, maybe how, I don't know how Zack Snyder had it originally structured. It would have been a setup, people were thinking, from Steppenwolf to Darkseid. Now, I didn't personally think that Steppenwolf was destroyed at the end of this movie. So, like Mr. Ahab, Captain Ahab in Moby Dick, he may be back again. And this time, he may get the approval of Darkseid to come back. He's been exiled. So let's see if Steppenwolf will make a second attempt at coming back to invade the world, because he vowed that he would come back and attack the world when he was exiled, and then he tried to do it in secret because he knew if mankind and all the other forces of Earth band together, he probably couldn't overtake them as he would want to. He tried to do it by terraforming the Earth and turning it into an apocalyptic place. Didn't work, but he's not dead yet, and parademons are attacking him absolutely, but doesn't mean that they will kill him. Now, parademons feed off of fear, and they eat people alive. So it was a very horrific film, if you think about it. And the parademons, they were powered enough. They weren't just fodder, as you saw. And they were a real threat. So I really liked the movie, Justice League, because you had the threat level in there, the horrific elements. I think I was shocked a couple times in that movie. I remember in BVS I was shocked a couple times too. But the movie has all these elements and ingredients in it. Anyway, I don't talk all that much about Justice League. I just wanted to give you guys the spoiler part of it. We'll go into more detail about the concepts in Justice League, the above and below that Zack Snyder likes to use a lot of, the themes on heroism, the themes on things, political themes that are happening in the world today and how relevant it is. And we'll get into all of the subtleties. Trust me, we will. I'm sure there was a lot more details to this movie, but it just wasn't enough time to cover it in a 2-hour film. It felt like that 2-hour film was just sufficient. And if it was a 4-hour film now, if it was a 4-hour marathon, that would have been a totally different story where you could put in all those details. But that would not appeal to the general audience. So they did the right thing. I think they had the right combination. I think that Whedon did the best he could with Zack Snyder's film to tweak it the way it should be, and Warner Brothers. So I'm satisfied with what I saw. But let me just say that I think this spoiler sets up possibilities for a lot of other things. So I decided to talk about the second end credit scene instead of the first one, because the first one's kind of straightforward. We've seen animated comics with the first one, and we've also seen comic books on the first one, at least the cover of comic books, having our fascination about that race between the Flash and Superman. So maybe I'll give you a link in the description below or in the comment section below with that race between Superman and the Flash. There was an actual animated story on that and what happened. We still didn't know the winner at the end of that, but you can go ahead and watch it if you want. It's on YouTube. All right, on that note, you guys have a great one.